At Portia and Curtis' house, Curtis finds his dad looking at his phone in tears. Portia joins them and asks Marshall how he is doing. Marshall laments that he's the one who pushed Epiphany to become a doctor, and if he hadn't, she'd still be here. Portia tells him that he reignited her dream and she passed without having any regrets in her life, which not many people can say. Marshall sobs and Portia hugs him. Curtis mouths, "Thank you" to her. Felicia stops by the safe house and brings Emma as a surprise for Anna. Anna is thrilled and embraces her. Emma explains she wanted to stop by before Epiphany's memorial, and Mom and Dad wish they could have come too. Anna can't believe Emma is here, and they hug again. Outside the hospital, Robert and Laura share a hug. Laura can't believe the hospital has been here for 60 years, and today is going to be a hard day. Diane approaches them and says she has one last thing to do as executor of Epiphany's will before heading into the memorial, where she'll see them. Diane heads inside, and Laura notes Robert seems happy and asks if it has to do with Diane. Inside, Liz arrives with a bouquet of flowers and heads to the chapel. Meanwhile, Bobby checks on Diane at the nurse's station, and they comfort one another. In the locker room, Felix slams his locker in anger and breaks down into tears. Brad finds him there, knowing he would always come there when he was sad. Felix recalls Epiphany encouraging him after he and Brad broke up. Felix can't believe Epiphany's gone, but Brad says no one is ever really gone as long as you hold on to their memory. Spinelli and Sam look at the photo memorial wall together. Elsewhere, Carly wheels Willow in, and Bobby tells her she is 2 days out from her procedure and should be resting. Willow says this is where she needs to be as it was Epiphany's support that led her into nursing. She recalls Epiphany encouraging her after she had lost her teaching job. In an exam room, Obrecht tells Nina she is clear to donate to Willow. Obrecht reveals she plans to attend Epiphany's memorial, even if they did butt heads. On the roof, Milo surprises Sunny and they embrace. Milo recalls when he asked Epiphany out and they started dating, and he ends up in tears. Sunny asks if he's okay, and he says he's grateful for the memories. Milo asks about the business, and Sunny says things are a little dicey. He offers to step in and help, but Sunny says he's one of the rare ones who got out and lived, and he wants it to stay that way. Diane locates Obrecht in the hallway with Nina. Diane explains she has a set of instructions from Epiphany that must be taken care of today, and Epiphany wanted Obrecht to carry them out. Obrecht reads the letter and smiles. Later, Diane runs into Milo with Sunny in the halls, and she takes him aside to talk. She asks about Max and how he himself is doing. He says Max is good, and he's pretty sad today. Nina runs into Sunny and tells him that she's sorry for his loss, as she knows he had a special relationship with Epiphany. Sunny says it hit home with her loss and how precious life is. Nina knows they can't spend a lot of time together, but she'd like to accompany him to the memorial. He says he'd like that. Felicia brings Emma to the hospital, and Emma runs into Robert's arms when she sees him. Elsewhere, Portia, Marshall, and Curtis arrive and run into Sunny, Nina, and Milo. They all exchange hellos before heading into the chapel. In the chapel, Liz places the flowers on the altar and looks at a photo of Epiphany. Finn joins her as she sets up the memorial photos of her friend. They discuss how Epiphany was on her way home and stopped to help out with an accident. Liz knows Epiphany was busy being the Epiphany even until the end. Liz continues to obsess over every detail and wishes she knew what Epiphany was thinking at the end. A woman, played by Yvette Nicole Brown, overhears and tells Liz she can help with that, as Epiphany died saving her life. The woman explains she's a nurse as well and was working late and on her way home. She didn't see a downed power line in the road until she ran over it, and then swerved and hit a utility pole. She says she got out of the car, and then Epiphany pulled over and kept the pressure on her wounds and stayed by her side until the paramedics arrived. The woman says she asked later what happened, and her colleague said Epiphany collapsed at the site due to inhaling too much smoke. Liz explains she had a pre-existing heart condition, Finn thanks her for sharing this with them, and Liz is comforted knowing Epiphany left the world doing what she loved. The various mourners enter the chapel as the service gets underway. Liz stands in front of them all and thanks them all for being here today, and speaks about how Epiphany was the heart and soul of the hospital. She calls today a celebration of her life, as their hearts collectively break. Liz says she'll miss her, but they are all lucky to have known her, loved her, and been loved by her. Dion speaks about Epiphany's gift for connecting with people and telling them the truth even if they didn't want to hear it. She says Epiphany helped her get over her fear of taking care of those who were terminally ill. She says though she joined the staff with her credentials, it was Epiphany who taught her how to really be a nurse. Portia stands up and says she didn't know Epiphany as long as many of them, but there was a time she risked everything to protect her daughter and her daughter's father. She cries they went from colleagues to friends to family. Sonny relates that the people who show up at your darkest moments are your real friends. He flashes back to showing Epiphany he could walk again, and she was there when he took his first steps out of his wheelchair. Emma speaks and says she can't imagine General Hospital without Epiphany, while Carly says Epiphany ran to her and countless others rescued so many times. Dan makes one last announcement before everyone leaves. She says Epiphany left her a set of instructions for today, and one of those was to escort them all to the roof. Everyone heads out, but Liz stays behind for a moment to herself. On the roof, Diane reads a note from Epiphany. It states that she imagines nice things were said about her today, and tears shed, but she would much rather go out with a bang. Elsewhere, Obrecht lights some fireworks and calls Epiphany a worthy advisory. Everyone admires the fireworks as they explode overhead in the night sky. Back in the chapel, Liz gets a call from Monica, who couldn't make it as she's the key speaker at a conference. However, she wants her to know before she left, Dan dropped off a sealed letter from Epiphany that was supposed to go to the review board. Liz is touched Epiphany wrote a letter for her after all. Monica reads the letter to her, which praises Liz as one of the best nurses she knew. She goes on to say while Liz's decision to treat Esme in captivity might not have been the right choice, she held herself accountable for what she did. And that makes her the best of them. Epiphany says she planned to recommend Liz be named head nurse when she departed from medical school in the fall. Liz is moved to tears. Monica says she plans to present Epiphany's last wish to the board at the end of the month. After she gets off the phone, Liz cries that she loves Epiphany and thanks her. She then heads to join the others. Epiphany's voice sings, "You are not alone," as everyone on the roof thinks about her, and various flashbacks from over the years are shown. From the safe house, even Anna watches the fireworks. The show ends with a shot of Epiphany's photo on the memorial wall. On the next General Hospital, Laura says, "We have to be warned." Maxie proclaims, "This nurse's ball is going to hell in a handbasket." Austin tells someone, "I know you." Cam says to his mom that he can't leave. Joss warns Trina that there would be serious consequences if something became public knowledge. At the hospital, Esmond tells Spencer if he's not on her side then he can leave. Drew tells someone she did not leave on her own. At the pier, Dex announces to Sunny that there is a body in the water and goes to dive in.